So I've been getting a lot of questions about the putting green lately, and people are asking me, what's the height of cut? What type of grass is that? How fast is it rolling? How did you build that? What type of fertilizer are you using? Well, in this video, I'm gonna answer some of those questions for you. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this at 3/16 of an inch so you can see what this perennial ryegrass looks like at that height of cut. So if you're thinking about building a putting green, one thing you're gonna wanna do is get yourself a 10-blade reel. And I'll show you why here in just a second. But when you go and cut turf at 3/16 of an inch with a 6-blade reel, you get this wavy pattern and you don't get a smooth putting surface. Okay, so I just did 2 passes with the Swordman, one with the 10-blade reel right here, and one with the 6-blade reel right here. Now, as you can see, there's little waves in this pass here, and that's not gonna give you a very smooth putting surface, where with the 10-blade reel, this is gonna give you a much smoother putting surface. So that's why I recommend that if you're gonna build a backyard putting green, you're gonna wanna use a reel that has 10 or more blades on it to give you the smoothest putting surface. Now I'm just gonna go ahead here and finish off mowing the putting green with the 10-blade reel, and I'll show you what that looks like after. So I just went ahead and gave this a triple cut because today what we're gonna do is use the stimp meter just to see how fast the green is rolling. Now, I've been saying all year that my goal was to get this to 10 on the stimp meter by July 4th. Now I can tell you one thing, that's not happening. This is not gonna be able to get to 10 on the stimp meter, especially right now with the way that the heat's been. We've been in the 90s, upper 90s for the better part of 2 weeks now. And just trying to manage this and keep it alive has been a challenge in itself. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to take this any lower than 3/16 of an inch. And because of that, I'm not gonna be able to get this to 10 on the stimp meter. Now, I'm saying that this is probably running about a 7 at best, which is a little bit slower than your average municipal golf course. Now, don't get me wrong, it still has a decent roll to it, right? I mean, just take a look at this. It's got a nice feel to it, and it's rolling pretty nice, but it just doesn't have that speed. So let's just try out the stimp meter and see what we're actually rolling at. All right, so all I'm doing is I'm just gonna raise up the stimp meter until the ball comes out of the notch, and then we're gonna measure how far the ball has rolled. And then we'll take an average of 3 balls, and that'll be the speed of our green. All right, so here's the end of the stimp meter, and it's coming down to here. So as you can see, right there's our golf balls, and here's 7 feet. So as you can see, this thing's running just about a 7. Now, one thing that could help this is a sand top dressing, but I'm really afraid of putting sand down on here, especially in this heat. I don't know if you've ever been to the beach in the summertime, but when you go and you walk on the sand, that stuff will burn your feet up pretty good. So I'm gonna have to wait until the temperature comes down a little bit before I put any sand on here, because there's a few spots out here that need a little bit of leveling work. So speaking of leveling work, that's essentially how I built this putting green, is I took my existing turf and I hacked it down with the Swordman as low as I could go. And then I just started sand leveling the heck out of it and then overseeding it as well. So if you're looking for more information on that topic, I have a few videos out that explain the process, and you can find those in a playlist titled Putting Green. Now, do I recommend a perennial ryegrass putting green? I think it's a fine option, and I think you can get a good roll out of it, but it's not gonna be anything like a bent grass putting green, which gives you that nice, fast, quick, true roll. Now, in terms of taking care of this, it's gonna require daily mowing. I mean, I'm mowing this thing every day, or at least every other day. In terms of fertilization, all I've been doing is just spraying this with a 16-4-8 every 10 days or so. Now, if you have any other questions about the putting green, or you want me to cover another topic about it, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.